Hello, I'm Brenda Sanders-Passmore and welcome to Health Bites. Today I'm going to show you a gentle sequence for opening up the groin and inner thigh and indirectly taking pressure off the low back. So let's get started. Today for this practice you're likely going to need a folded blanket. Just any old blanket will do for extra cushioning, a cushion or some sort of way to prop your hips if you're really tight in the hips, and a set of blocks would be great. So we're just going to get started on our backs. And we're just going to lay on back. We're going to bend the knees deeply and bring the feet closer to the buttocks. Then what we're going to do is just exhale, open up at the knees and draw the feet together. And then we're going to inhale, draw the knees together. Exhale, open up. Inhale, draw them together. So we're just kind of getting everything kind of warmed up a little bit and a little bit more prepared for the actual posture. We're going to end up in a reclined bound angle in a minute. So next time we open up, we're going to open up and hold. And this is where I want you to check in with your low back and your groin. If there's any discomfort at all, just reach up for your blocks. And you might feel like you want to prop the posture. That just gets rid of the pain. So if you're experiencing any discomfort, you can use your blocks in a number of ways to give you the amount of height and support that you need. Now what I like to do is multitask a little bit. So we're just going to, as our hips are just opening up, we're going to do a shoulder movement. So reach the arms long with the thumbs pointing up to the ceiling. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up, way up overhead along the floor, and then you're going to exhale, slide the arms down the floor till they reach your thighs. Inhale, reach the arms up, keep going way up overhead along the floor, then exhale, slide the arms down till they reach your thighs. Now this big range of motion here for the shoulders is awesome for counteracting a lot of micro movements in the shoulder. And by that I'm talking about texting and mousing and things of that nature. So this big range of motion is really great for the shoulders. You want to reach the arms long, almost like someone's pulling at your wrists the entire time. And have a nice big breath. So we're getting quite a bit done. We're getting the shoulders moving well. If you're breathing deeply, you got lots of rib cage action going on, which assists the shoulder blades in moving on the rib cage, all while we're opening up the groin, inner thigh. So we're just going to repeat that 3 more times, just like that. Time. So what we're going to do now is use our hands to push the thighs together. That's just kinder on the hips. And what we're going to do now is just come into seated. And I'm going to grab my cushion for a little bit extra support. A lot of beginners are timid in using their props, and I'm all about the props. A lot of people think that it's somehow announcing that you're more of a beginner than the rest of the class if you use them. I still use props, and I'm the teacher. So what we're going to do is come into a bound angle posture in seated. And if your knees are high up off the floor, you're likely going to want to use a little extra support. It'll just make it a little less pinchy when we fold over. So what we're going to do is just drop the chin in the chest, and then we're going to fold on over. And this is where you just let the head and the shoulders completely relax. Soften your belly and just exaggerate your breath. Out of all the yoga poses in the world, this is the one to really exaggerate that breath. And you'll see my head is dipping ever so slightly more forward every time I breathe. And then we're just going to inhale, slowly come back on up. We're going to just come into cross-legged. into easy pose, and we're just going to do a simple twist now. So we're going to bring the left hand over to the right thigh. You're going to bring your right hand directly behind your right hip, press into the back hand, and have a look over the right shoulder. We're going to inhale, release the hands, come back to center. We're going to switch sides, right hand on the left thigh, just above the knee. Press the left hand directly behind the left hip. Press into the hand and have a look over your left shoulder. Now I'm propped up here on a cushion, and sometimes you might feel like your back arm is disproportionately short all of a sudden to the rest of your trunk. So you can do what I'm doing here and just slide a block underneath the bottom hand, back hand. And then we're just going to inhale, release the hands, and come back to the center. All right. This next little sequence is fabulous, but it can be challenging for knees, even healthy knees. So what I recommend is getting a good thick blanket and just fold it over a number of times. And then what we're going to do is come into a wide child's pose. So we just have the blanket about halfway down our mat, and we're just going to come into a wide child's pose. So we're going to bring the big toes together. The knees are going to be super duper wide, often wider than the mat itself. And then we're just going to sit here in our wide child's pose. So this helps to stretch the top front parts of our feet and the inner thigh and groin, a little bit of low back where the hips meet into the low back. And it's a gorgeous resting posture. All right, what we're going to do is extend the arms, and we're going to brace the arms, meaning I don't want you to bend the elbows, and make sure that the hands are about shoulder width apart. What we're going to do is brace those arms. We're going to inhale, roll forward, drop the pelvis down towards the floor, and then we're going to exhale, sit the seat back. Inhale, rolling forward so that the shoulders are directly over the wrists. Exhale, sit it on back. So we're just kind of rocking back and forth here. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, sit it on back. So we're just kind of rocking back and forth here. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, sit it back. Now, as you come forward, think lengthen the neck. You want to look at the floor maybe 4 feet in front of you as you work. All right, the next time we roll forward, we're going to roll forward and hold. So we're just going to hold and breathe here. Often I'll feel kind of just like everything kind of sinks down lower to the mat when we hold it here. You want to breathe deeply here. And then we're just going to exhale, sit it on back. And you can rest it in crocodile arms or fist over fist, whatever feels best in your body today, or the arms extended. And then we're going to push ourselves back on up. We're going to bring the knees on in. And then we're just going to move that blanket out of the way. And we're going to come back into seated. And we're also going to revisit our bound angle posture. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet together in towards the pubic bone. And from here, what we're going to do is add the heels of our hand mid-thigh. So not on the knees, just mid-thigh. And this is optional. If it doesn't feel comfortable in your body, just skip this part. Feel free. All right, so what we're going to do is use a special stretching technique. You're going to gently press the knees up against the resistance of your hands. I'm talking about 10% of your maximum strength here. Just a weak little contraction is all we're looking for here. So I'm pressing my knees up towards the ceiling, basically. Keep your breath moving. Don't hold your breath. Often when we start pushing things, we start holding our breath. All right, we're going to inhale deeply. Then we're going to exhale, relax the thigh entirely, and then just add a gentle, gentle, gentle overpressure. Any pain, come out of the pose. We're going to do this a third and final time. So we're going to gently press those knees up. Just tensing up those inner thigh muscles. Essentially what we're doing is fatiguing the muscles into submission. We're going to inhale deeply. Exhale, relax the thighs entirely. Again, add a little gentle overpressure if it feels good. So I'm just holding here a little extra time here just to create hopefully a little muscle memory. And then we're going to come up. So my knees are much lower to the floor, which I got some range of motion increase, which is awesome. Don't be disappointed if that didn't give you as much of a lengthening. It works for some. It's a great technique for some and not so much for others. So just give it a try. Now what we're going to do is just our basic fold again. So we're just going to drop the chin in the chest, and we're going to try folding over again. And then we're just going to check in now and observe and just see how it feels. Just notice, maybe you're going a little deeper. I know I am. And how it feels in the body. Maybe it's a little less pinchy in the groin. Maybe it feels more comfortable in the posture. And again, we're just breathing deeply here. And then we're just going to inhale, slowly come back on up. Then what we're going to do is lean back on the hands a bit, bring the feet out about hip width apart, and then we're just going to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And that just shakes out any residual tension and just feels good. So there's our little sequence for the groin and inner thigh. Thanks so much for joining me, and namaste.